Oh, hey guys, welcome. Welcome to another riveting edition of The Ghost and the Goat. I'm your host, Buddy Thayer, walking you into yet another paranormal field of I don't know. It could be like aliens. It could be Bigfoot in the woods. It could be Chupacabra. It could be Men in Black, or it could be ghosts. Actually, tonight I'm gonna walk you through the fields. Take me by the hand. We're gonna go looking for ghosts tonight. We have a very special guest on this evening. More about that in a little bit. He'll be on in just a little bit to join us. Um, Finally to join us. So that'll be good. More about that in a little bit. Before we move into the paranormal world, a little bit more about what's going on here at oh well, I got Three Dudes Brews. We filmed 2 episodes last month. They should be rolling out. One is episode 11, one is episode 12. One's at a brewery, surprisingly enough. One's at a meadery and a winery in Providence. Really good stuff. All good beers. Providence Brewing is episode 11. I pulled out one of their beers for my second beer this evening, my second burr. They're closing. This is a Cali Common. They close on Friday night, Saturday night's that last hoorah rah. They're open until 12 to 10. The good people down there, Providence Brewer, Efren Hidalgo. All the good culture and the good beer that he's brought to Providence and Rhode Island over the years. He's packing it up. He's closing up shop. So Three Dudes will be down there on Friday for the Halloween party. Be sure to join us. Of course, it's going to be a good time. Say goodbye to Efren. You made us good beers, and now you must go to other places. Other things that we're doing, filming 2 additional episodes coming up in the coming weeks in November. One's going to be at Gray Sail Brewing down there in Westerly, home of my girl, the captain's daughter, and Bravo Brewing up there in Pasco, veterans owned. Great guy, great bunch of people up there. I really look forward to celebrating them and all the good things they do with beer. So if you like beer and you like my face, like a lot of people do, they say, "Buddy, your face looks good drinking beer." But and I kind of just gotta agree there. Then check out Three Dudes Brews each month as we travel to a different. I feel like I'm a little bit loud. We travel to a different brewery, and then every other week as we travel live on a podcast like this, and we all drink beer. It's as weird as it seems. This evening I'm drinking this lovely Aslan beer, which I'll talk a little bit more about Aslan on Thursday night. Before we get into the paranormal, guys, of course we got to skip to the fields, and of course it's a football field. So I'm going to skip to the football field this week, week 8. Here's my predictions of the NFL. Thursday night things kick off in Los Angeles as the Chargers, who are all sorts of beat up. I mean, Herbert's still playing. Herbert doesn't look too good, guys. He got his ass handed to him by the Colts last week. They tried to rally a comeback. They couldn't rally anything. They can't really rally anything in LA these days. Minnesota can rally quite a bit. They have quite a defense. Their offense, while Carson Wentz is in right now, he's slinging balls like he did when he played for Philly. That's something they got my former defensive coordinator, Brian Flores. Actually, my former head coach is now their defensive coordinator, Brian Flores. Ironclad defense there in Minnesota. They got a whole bunch of people coming back off of injury this week. I expect Minnesota to go in and kick the snot out of the Chargers. By the way, guys, this is purely the money line. This is win or lose. We're not doing point spreads. We're not doing over-unders. This is strictly who I think is going to win or who I think is going to lose. Sunday, my abysmal team, the Miami Dolphins, traveled to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. The Dolphins, Tua went, my quarterback went second week in a row. He gave up 3 interceptions, guys. He had 3 fumbles, which he got them all back, but he dropped the ball 3 times. He got sacked a number of times. He was inaccurate at best. He sucks. He got benched. Finally, they benched him, and they put in Ewers, but it wasn't enough. Miami is just a ball of garbage this year. Everything's got to go from the top down. They're going to lose this week. Don't ever pick the Dolphins to win anything ever again, at least this year. And let's say, well, no. Maybe when they play the Jets, who is the only other team worse than the Dolphins, it's the only team that the Dolphins could muster a win against. Maybe they'll get 2 wins, but they won't win this week against when they travel to Atlanta, who has, while they lost last week, Atlanta's got a hell of a run game, and B. Ron Robinson, Penix Jr. is a hell of a quarterback. He's an up-and-comer. This is year 2 for him. They got things happening in Atlanta. They have nothing going on in Miami. Speaking of a place where there's nothing going on, the New Jersey Giants traveled to Cincinnati. The Jets. The Jets have nothing going on. The Jets are abysmal. Their starting quarterback, the kid that got kicked out of Chicago last year, I forgot his name. He's not even that important. He got benched also this week because they suck. And the guy Tyrod Taylor who took over for him, he sucked just as much. They're gonna suck even more because they're going to Cincinnati. They're in Cincinnati this week. Joe Flacco, he's having his 3rd wind. He lit it up last week. He was throwing all over the field. They beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. Not expected. Awesome game. Good for you, Joey Flacco. Having your 41 year. I think he's like 41, 42. Maybe he's even 40 years old, guys. But he's slinging the ball like really nice. He's like, I don't know, he's playing some good football. So I would take Cincinnati all day against the Jets. I would pick anybody against the Jets. The Cleveland Browns, who took my Miami Dolphins and made bitches out of them last week. That's the best way I could describe it. They traveled to New England to get bitches made out of them because while the Browns are terrible, why the Dolphins are terrible, the Browns are also terrible. While they have a staunch front seven, their defense isn't bad. I do not believe that what's his name? Gibson? No, I don't know. The rookie that got drafted before Sanders. I don't know. I can't remember his name, guys. It's not really important because the Patriots have everything clicking for them right now. I'm about to start rooting for the Pats because every team that I root for turns to shit. So I'm hoping that my rooting for the Patriots will turn them to shit also because if anything, I am a long-lived, like lifelong Dolphins fan and a lifelong Patriots hater. So yeah, don't expect anything. I think Drake May's got everything going on. He's slinging the ball over the field. They're running game. Picked up poise last week. Ramondre Stevenson, who was fumbling the ball left and right in the beginning of the season, he looked good. He went He had 8 carries for 88 yards and I believe in a touchdown. I don't know, but New England all day. The Giants had a really tough loss last week against the Denver Broncos. They were ahead most of the game, and they were up 19-0 at the beginning of the fourth quarter. I was listening to this game as I was driving through New York City, stuck in traffic, listening to the New Jersey Giants blow an incredible lead and lose to Denver at home, while the Giants looked good in the first half of the game. Dart is running all over the field, the rookie, the kid they got, and he might get hurt. Scattaboo. He's like this crazy college kid who's like doing flips in the NFL, and he's running all over the place. They traveled to Philly this week. Philly had a good comeback last week. They came off the bye. They were they made everything click last week. They looked like Philly of old. Jalen Hurts was throwing balls to AJ Brown like they threw balls. Like it was just yeah, they were throwing balls again. It was going really good. So I expect the same here. While Philly got blown out by the Giants last 2-3 weeks ago at home, I think this is a much more healed Philly team I expect Philly to put up a little bit more of a fight at home and beat the Giants back to New Jersey. Another team who actually is from New York is the Buffalo Bills. They had a nice week off last week to figure it out because they had a few like really tough losses back to back. They traveled to Carolina. Well, Carolina shows a little bit of poise. I think Josh Allen had this comeback. We need a team we can kick the shit out of. This is that for them, and I would pick the Buffalo Bills all day. The Baltimore Ravens, another team. Guys, these guys will look scary. I thought that this was going to be another AFC Championship year for them. No, Lamar Jackson went down. Even before he went down, they sucked. You can't get anything going there in Baltimore. I think they might get things going there in Baltimore this week because Lamar Jackson, their quarterback, comes back this week, and they're playing Chicago, who Chicago's not really that great. So, and they're at home. Baltimore's a lovely city. So, I would pick Baltimore all day in this one. San Francisco travels to Houston. San Francisco has been starting Mac Jones. It's been okay while Brock Purdy was down. Their defense is ripped apart. And Houston, while they've been losing games, they know how to put up some points. I'm going to say, hey, guys, I'm going to pick Houston in this one. I don't know. I might be wrong. I might take the loss. I don't know. We'll see. I might not bet money on it. I might skip that game in the parlay. But one game I won't skip in the parlay is the next game, Tampa Bay at New Orleans. New Orleans has been putting up some nice points on offense. I have Olave, their receiver, on my fantasy football, who consistently puts up like close to 20 points every week. So that's been really nice. But they're not really a great team. Tampa Bay is coming off a tough loss last week, and they're going to look to bounce back. A team that's been bouncing back, the Dallas Cowboys, put up a ton of points last week. Oh, yeah. So I would go Tampa Bay. Dallas at Denver. Oh, God. Dak lit it up last week because CeeDee Lamb came back to town, and he's like, let me throw the ball to you a bunch. Let me throw the ball to you a bunch. They weren't, I think, I don't even, they might have been playing the Jets. I don't know. They weren't playing anybody good, but they ran up the scoreboard like, whoa. I don't expect that against Denver. Honestly, Denver's got a better defense. I'm going to go Denver at home against the Dallas Cowboys. The Tennessee Titans are trash. They're traveling to Indianapolis, who are not trash this year. For the first time in a number of seasons, the Colts have it put it together with Daniel Jones. Weird. They're going to kick the snot out of the Titans. The Green Bay Packers traveled to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers, who lost a real nail biter last week, as I said earlier, against the Cincinnati Bengals. Aaron Rodgers is playing much better in Pittsburgh than he did in New Jersey, which is like the case with everybody who plays in New Jersey. It's the turf sucks, the team sucks, the whole Jets organization is trash. I don't know. I'm gonna go Green Bay though here, either way, guys, because Green Bay is way better than Pittsburgh. Washington, the Monday night game travels to Kansas City. They've been having some trouble there in Washington. They haven't had any trouble in Kansas City the last 2 weeks. Kansas City started a little flat, and then Rashid Rice came back, and Kansas City's not so flat anymore. They put it up big time the last couple of weeks. I expect them to do the same this week against home against the Washington Commanders. Tonight is the starting round of the NBA season. The starting evening of the NBA season. My beloved Celtics start tomorrow night against the I don't know who they're playing tomorrow, but they're playing on Friday night. They're playing the awful Knicks, and the team that we went down to in the playoffs last year. It's going to be an interesting season as the Celtics in the offseason, they traded away some of their bigger pieces. Porzingis for one, Drew Holiday, Al Horford. Oh God, and we got a bunch of free agents for them. They also got rid of Luke Cornett. Jason Tatum went down, as you may or may not know, in the last game, in the last 10 minutes of the last game against the goddamn Knicks last June. He's due to come back, hopefully, God willing, January. So all they really have to do is play decent basketball and stay in the race until Superman comes. I mean, Jason Tatum comes back and hopefully breathes some life into this Celtics team. Not to say that Joe Mazzulla and Jalen Brown and my boy D Dubs, Derek White, they can't do it themselves. But having that boss on the court definitely made a difference last year in the playoffs. So hopefully that goes well. My beloved Red Sox are long gone out of the baseball playoffs. If your head has been in the sand, you know that the Yankees got beat out by the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays came back from they were down against Seattle. It was Seattle and the Blue Jays, and then on one side, and on the other side, it was the Dodgers versus Milwaukee. You had two teams that had never been in the World Series. Well, the Brewers had once, and they couldn't do it. And then um, Seattle had never been in the playoffs ever. Blows my mind. Like, hey, they're gonna make it. They started the series well. They were up against the Blue Jays 2-0, and then the Blue Jays came storming back, and they won in dramatic fashion the other night, hitting a home run in the ninth, winning 4-3. Love baseball. It's such a back and forth game. If you don't love baseball, I'm sorry. Get into it. If you don't love beer, guys, get into it. It's delicious. I'm gonna take a quick sip of my beer. Hold on. So Friday night starts the World Series in Los Angeles as the Los Angeles Dodgers, the World Series champions, take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Go Toronto? I don't know. Go Los Angeles? I don't know. I don't know which one. I'm gonna say the Dodgers are gonna win because they're a dominant baseball team. They have a lot of former Red Sox players. Mookie makes me cry every time I see him on TV. It's like, oh God, Mookie. And Toronto, we're from the same division, but the Canadians. So, I guess I would pick the Dodgers if I was a betting man, boys and girls. I would pick the Dodgers. All right, I'm gonna flip the old switch. We're gonna go into the paranormal world, guys. Welcome. Join me for a wild ride. Joining me this evening, though, on this wild paranormal ride. She is a paranormal survivor. She's a paranormal investigator, researcher, if you will. She's a producer of sorts, Hollywood and the music world. Please welcome to the show, Jai. Hey, how you doing?
Hello.
Hey,
I'm doing great. How are you?
pretty good. Are you in the darkness? Are you joining us from the shadows?
Yes, I'm joining you from the corner of the room, the shadows.
That's cool. That's fine. You don't need a lot of light. It's fine. No worries. I got it before we bring on tonight's guest. I had a paranormal experience. What I'm perceiving maybe as a paranormal experience this past weekend. So I traveled down to the lovely state of Virginia where my best friend is. He's going to school in Washington D.C. for the military.
Hmm.
Cheers, dude. Cheers, Jeff. And great time. Great to see him. Good. I've known this guy my whole life, so we're great friends. Both of us are massive history dorks. So we were going to do the Capitol. I did a little bit of the Capitol, but we were going to do like all like the crazy intricate tours that like the public don't get because they're not a colonel in the army. And then the government shut down, and I can't do that too because he's the guy that
Right.
does the tours. He's not in work. I'm like, oh, bummer. But he's like, we have all these like Civil War battlefields. He's like, yeah,
Everywhere.
let's go do it. So we went to Manassas, where it all started. Battle Bull Run. The first that was cool because Rhode Island has a rich history in some of these battlefields. So it was good to finally see that. We did Fredericksburg, which is between D.C. and Richmond. Then we did Chancellorsville. We were at Spotsylvania Courthouse, the last one. And so Spotsylvania Courthouse, it's a battle that took place in May 12th, 1864. Um, Grant was in charge of the Union Army in on the east side. He was pushing against Lee. He was trying to destroy Lee's army essentially, and he was like some massive casualties. They were in the wilderness, massive casualties. This battle, it featured like this little salient, which is like a break in the line, and they call it the mule shoe. Yeah,
Hmm.
so it was like that. It was like a horseshoe, and it featured like 20,000 guys from the Union crossing this like really small field out of the woods against like maybe 12,000 Confederate defenders. and they went back and forth for about 20 hours. Trenches, hand-to-hand combat. 18,000 men lost their lives in less than 24 hours, in 20 hours. So I'm
Wow.
walking, I'm walking this field with my friend, and we were chit chatting about what happened, da da da. And we're in Virginia. We're in Southern Virginia, right? Here in Rhode Island, it's like 50 degrees out now. It's a little chilly.
Right.
But down
It's
there in
cold.
Virginia, dude, it's like 75, 80 degrees. It's
Mm.
beautiful weekend. Sun is shining. It's not humid. It's beautiful. The South is gorgeous. So I'm in shorts. We're walking. It's about I'd say it's about 78 degrees on Saturday down there. And my friend's about 2, 3 feet in front of me, and I'm walking behind him. And he stops. He's walking slow. He's like, you feel that? He's like, it's a cold spot. And I walk a little further. I was like, oh wow. See, it's like we walked right into this like little cube of space. It must have been like maybe if I spread my arms out, I could feel outside of this cold spot, and I could feel my body inside of this cold spot. It was partially in the sunshine, it was partially in the shade. But even in the sunshine of the cold spot,
Right.
which lasted about 10 seconds, so it seemed like a whole lot longer at the time. I could feel the heat of the sun on my body, but I could also feel a different temperature in the air, like
Hmm.
inside and outside this cold spot. So it was like, oh, that was cool. We kept walking. We went to the end, and we turned around and came back, and there was no cold spot, of course, in that same area. Was it paranormal? I cannot say for sure. I had no equipment on me. My immediate thought, I want to break out into an EVP session, broad daylight, lots of people around.
Right.
But of course, I didn't have any of that equipment. Just a little cool tidbit I'd share. I thought I'd share. You don't always have to be looking for them, boys and girls. Sometimes they come out and they find you. That's happened to be on other occasions where I haven't been looking for paranormal stuff, and paranormal has just popped right up in my face. So
Right.
yeah, you don't always have to be ghost hunting. Sometimes they're maybe they're hunting us. I don't know.
Right.
Um, really cool though. Really cool national park. Really cool battlefield site. Really great weekend. Spent some good times with a good friend. So that was cool. But I just thought I'd share that little tidbit before we get it. Tonight's guest is a paranormal investigator. Hold on, I'm gonna bring up his bio. I'm gonna read it before we reel him on into the show. He's oh excuse me, Jesus. Okay. He's seasoned paranormal investigator and EVP electronic voice phenomena specialist whose passion for uncovering the voices of the unseen has become his life's work. You might find him exploring an abandoned home with walls yellowed by age and doors teetering on their hinges, perhaps a site of tragedy, fire, or unresolved mystery. In such places, he listens for the whispers of the departed, seeking out the subtle traces of the beyond. Today, he shares his expertise with audiences around the world as the host of EVP Explorations, his live weekly radio show airing every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central on the Sacred Spiritual Network, YouTube, and Facebook. The latest endeavor is a natural evolution of his long running and beloved show, Haunted Voices. As Haunted Voices gracefully concluded, he carried forward his legacy of education, discovery, and spirit communication, reimagined and recharged through EVP explorations. Please welcome to the show, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, Todd Bates. Todd, how you
Hey, how
doing,
you
guy?
doing, buddy? How you doing, buddy?
Oh,
Hi, Jai. How are
Hi.
you?
How are you?
nice.
Great, thanks.
Great to finally have you on, Todd.
Yes. Oh goodness.
What is it? When did you paranormal investigator? I'm assuming that's what started you off on this adventure of yours. At what point did you start your journey? How did it start?
Oh, I tell you what, that goes way back to end of 2001. There was
Okay.
I was I've been I was a skeptic all my life. Raised
Mm-hmm.
Catholic, it was crazy.
Right.
So there was a paranormal tour that I was invited to go on, and I went there. It was Jason Snyder's team, the Crawford County, Illinois Ghost Hunter Society, here locally,
Mm-hmm.
and he invited me on there, and we talked beforehand, of course, and he told me about electronic voice phenomenon. That
Mm-hmm.
was his gig, so I kind of adopted that. So I purchased before the tour. I purchased a recorder and the equipment needed, and so forth, and
Mm-hmm.
went on this tour. Well, they all pull up. Everybody pulls up to this old general store. Everybody runs toward the old building, and flashes going on and craziness
right.
going on. Well, my old ass decides to walk straight ahead to the dark old barn that I saw behind the property. I went in there, and there was a wood pile, some stalls, and so forth. It hadn't been used anymore. So I climbed on top of that wood pile, set up my recorder, set up the external microphone, slapped a brand new cassette tape in that analog recorder, and I hit record and started asking questions. I didn't hear a thing, not a damn thing, nothing with my naked ear.
Of course.
Yeah. Lo and behold, take it back, process it, and upload it to the computer and put it through a program back then called Cool Edit. And what I discovered about 10 minutes in to that constant hiss that you hear was a horse, of all things. It was a horse. It stomped and it neighed. You know, that kind of sound was on that recorder, and it was just plain as day. I'm like, you're kidding me. I mean, not only is this not a disembodied human spirit, this is an animal spirit, which are even more tossed out there, credibility wise. And I could not figure out why I heard it so clearly on that tape, but yet I didn't hear it with my own ear. It was complete, total silence. I didn't hear a thing.
Right.
So I immediately began researching everything I could. Jason helped me out a little bit. Him and I had some disagreements on some things. He was more scientific with the whole approach. And I found on the internet back then a woman by the name of Sarah Wilson Eastet. She founded the AAEVP classification system, the whole 9 yards. We began emailing back and forth. Those turned into phone calls, a lot of phone calls, because of the questions, the things that, you know, so many things that she had taught me. She really took me under her wing and taught me that this field is not a field to fear. It's not one to ridicule. It's one of respect and integrity being the most. Because these things can be easily faked by anyone.
Right. You kind of got integrity is huge.
Yeah, it's massive. And that's one of the biggest things from the get-go that I practiced and still practice to this day, because you have to hold that together. Once it tears, it all falls apart. So you can't, you know, and I spoke of the classifications, and the community today is really confused, just really confused out there. They'll shake loose eventually, but with the captures and so forth, I just want to stress that less is more when it comes to analyzing your capture. You know, you may use a digital recorder as well. They work fantastic. I use them myself. But you want to be sure that the integrity is intact with your recording. You want a baseline. You want to hit record for a few seconds prior to the recording itself before you ask any question, to get some kind of baseline reading. Get in there, ask the questions, and most importantly, leave space in between. My goodness.
Oh, right. And dude, I tell people I'm going on a big investigation in a couple of weeks, and I got a few noobs coming with me, and I tell people all the time, like, whatever you do, don't whisper, because even if you don't think I'm going to hear you, I'm going to hear you. And then the guy next to me on his recorder, he's going to think, hey, dude, I got to whisper. I got somebody. He's going to be like a false positive. It's going to be like a domino effect, you know? But like, people, or like, if you fart, it's okay.
Yes.
Just tag it, because again, it's like, oh my God, you hear that growl, dude? That's a growl.
Yeah. Verbally noted.
Dude, I shit my pants.
Exactly. And people they'll just go. They'll burp, they'll fart, they'll do whatever, and they won't note it.
Ego and stuff.
And next thing you know, it's a demonic, you know, some kind of demonic entity, and these people are infested and they need an exorcism. Yeah, that's not the case. And there's so much crap out there. There's so much crap. You have to learn to sift through it. Unfortunately, you know, it takes an experienced ear and experienced eye to really look at something to tell if it's fake or not. However, if you use common sense, guys, it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple to put 2 and 2 together. Realize,
or somebody like picks up something that's natural, and then they
Mhm.
like, oh no, dude, that's a ghost. No,
yeah,
that's probably not a ghost. And yeah, they just or like, do you hear that snap sound? That was a snap sound. What's going on in the room? Like, tell me what's like. I don't like to pick apart other people's evidence, but
no. Sometimes
sometimes,
you have to. Sometimes you
yeah,
really have to. And if you're in this field, especially if you're in the electronic voice phenomenon field,
hmm
you have to learn to take constructive criticism. Oh my
of
goodness,
course. Oh
that
my
is a
god.
must, because you may hear EVP out of everything. I saw that
Yeah.
they say a picture says 1,000 words. I don't know. You give me a photo, I put it up to my ear. I don't have. I don't know what to read on those things. But as far as of an EVP, you know, when you're analyzing and listening to these, like I said, less is more.
Yeah.
Use less equipment. Don't go in there with a bunch of zooms and whams and scare the hell out of them. Go in there, introduce yourself, treat them like a human being. I've screwed up so many times over the
Yep.
years, guys.
Yep.
So many times. I've tried these stupid things. I've tried provoking. You bet I have. I've
hmm
tried everything I could to get a response back in the day, and I paid the
Yep.
price for it. You got
I
to be
bet.
careful what you wish for out there.
Yeah,
That's
for
true.
sure. Sure. I remember going into a location, and the alleged ghost was of a woman who was like born in the 1840s,
Mhm.
and she grew up, in the 1880s, very proper. Came from a moderately wealthy family, in a resort town here in Rhode Island, and it was like 2:30 in the morning. It's myself. There's another investigator, Catherine. She's a little older than I am, and her husband. And we walking around, just the three of us, and it's like March, early March, so there's nobody out on this like little island. It's just like the people who live there, which is like maybe like 800, and
Yeah.
nobody at all is outside anywhere on the island. And we're walking into this room, and the rooms used to be labeled by the people who lived there. So the family throughout the years who lived in this like bed and breakfast, and this old woman that was reported being seen there, a ghost. Her room was Mama's room. It was the original owner's mother. So I walk into the room. I'm like, hey, let me see the old lady. Let me talk to the old lady. I want to talk to the old lady.
Yeah.
Just being a wicked dick, obviously.
Yes.
And the guy next to me, Scott, he's like, buddy, you got to remember, you're addressing a woman she's Victorian. She's used to a more proper tone or proper addressing.
Right.
It'd be like
Right.
this. He says, hello, Mrs. Champlin. Wouldn't you? Now, we
Right.
didn't hear it in the moment, but as soon as he says, hello, Mrs. Champlin, there's this little old lady's
Man.
voice that says, hello, right in the
Oh my
background.
goodness, I
Oh,
love
Can't
it.
right.
make this shit up, Todd. Yeah,
See, you
I
can't.
mean,
You
you
can't.
could, but I mean, I'm not.
But why? But why?
Right, exactly.
All it
Why would I?
does is
Yeah.
make us, if anything, buddy, it makes us sound more crazy than what we
Mhm.
are for what we're
Yeah, right.
doing.
For
But to
sure.
get something like that, something intelligent like that, I
Mhm.
mean, just by proper introduction, just by
Showing
respect.
respect.
Right.
Absolutely.
Treating
Respect
people
is
like
key.
people. They're people, right? They're just people.
I
Like,
mean,
you wouldn't walk into someone's house and say, "Hey, let me talk to the old lady." It'd just be a dirtbag.
no,
Yeah,
you're
you
not
tell
going
the
to
guy, "Hey,
shine
fuck
a
you, guy."
spotlight on them and expect them to perform either.
Right. Yeah. It's
Right.
not
It's,
it's not a circus act.
it's not, a lot of these people get disappointed with these pay and plays out there. You get what you pay for, folks. You really
Yeah,
do.
for sure.
Be careful.
Yeah.
But there's,
Some of them make really good money,
Mhm, mhm.
hand over fist.
Yeah. The only
Yeah.
genuine one that I know out there that really doesn't screw its people around is Rolling Hills Asylum with
I've heard a lot of good things about Rolling Hills.
Sharon Coyle. She's a sweetheart, and
Mhm.
I mean, it's genuine.
Mhm.
Ashmore's another one. Robin,
Right.
he doesn't play any games,
Yeah.
but you got to watch out for the bigger ones. And a lot of
Sure.
people coming into this field for the first time, they're really attracted to places like that. That's one of the first stops
Well,
they want to go.
Todd, I'm in Rhode Island. I'm not going to mention any
Ooh.
names here in Rhode Island, but there's a location here in Rhode Island that's drawn a holy shit ton of drama in the last 5 years, and I swear that's all it's been about. It's just
Yeah.
so like tiring
It is.
to hear the bullshit and the nonsense. I just want
It's
I just want to sit in the darkness and talk to dead people. You know?
It does. It makes me want to vomit sometimes. Some
Mhm.
of the things I see, and it's gotten so bad, guys, that I mean, every week during my show, I read a statement to address the community,
Mhm.
and I feel that's me trying to do my part to
Yeah.
kick this community's ass back into shape where it should be. We're not researching life after death any longer. It seems we're researching film crews and followers,
Oh God.
you
Yeah.
know, and marketing
Right.
Mhm.
and different things that we would never do, you know.
Mhm.
And I understand the paranormal is very ambiguous. It's meant to be expanded upon and
For
such.
sure.
And I'm cool with that. I'm cool
Mhm.
with blending technologies and so forth and creating something new. Absolutely. But not when it's done at that expense, to
Mhm.
where, you know, hey, the client can wait. We got a photo shoot at 6:00. No.
No.
Oh, they
Kids.
they
Right.
just need slapped back into
Right.
reality. You know, we're here to research life after death. Is there
Mhm.
something after? That's why we all got into this, or
Oh,
should
Right.
have.
yeah, for
Should
sure.
have.
To know more, to explore this more, to explore my own experiences that I had. I was like yourself, Todd. I was a skeptic for years. Stuff would happen as a kid, and I like went out looking for it. I didn't find it. I'm like, all right, this it'd be something nice to believe in, but I don't think it's real. I think it's just this or it's that or it's scapegoating. And then in my like late 20s, I had a series of like holy shit experiences that I just couldn't say no anymore. I'm like, this is like not only like real, but
Yeah.
this is like this doesn't scare me anymore. But
Mhm.
holy shit, this is so cool.
Yeah.
And then to
Right.
be able to help people, just be able to empower people. They go into their homes and they're terrified of what they don't know, what they can't see, what other people will
Absolutely.
think,
Yeah.
and you just like it's not like the demon from The Exorcist here to possess you. It's probably your uncle or your grandmother, and they're just doing these little things just to like get your
Playing a
attention. And
visit.
and I was able to like corroborate like some of your experiences. I had the same things happen, and here's my data that I collected that will
Yeah.
suggest or not suggest. But I mean, I don't like put a lot of my investigations on YouTube. I don't do a lot of that
Yeah.
shit.
And
I'll
that's
play stuff, but I mean, I don't. It's not about me. It's about expanding the field, like you said.
absolutely. It's about expanding the field. It's about that client. Like you said, we are their last resort. When they
Right.
call us,
Mhm.
we're it. They've probably been through 2 or 3 priests and still can't figure it out. So they're going to call us. And
Sure.
when we go there, we are the last resort. Now, I'm not saying we're a counselor by any stretch of the imagination, but
Not yet. No.
we educate them. We educate them on what possibly could be happening or what possibly could not be happening.
Hmm.
And it's how they're interviewed, it's how the investigation is conducted,
Hmm.
and then it's how it's also exited. There has to be some kind of closure. Now, some
Right.
cases
Right.
can't be closed. I get
Like a
it.
plan. What we're gonna do if this happens.
Mhm.
What you should do if
You
this
can't
happens.
leave them empty-handed. You can't go into their own home, take their data out of thin air, and then just leave them high and dry.
Yeah.
You've
Right.
got to help them. You've committed yourself. You committed your
Yeah.
team.
Hmm.
You know, that's what it's about. That's what it's
Yeah.
about, getting out there and finding these things. And sometimes we have to go to some shitty places. We have to really some dark, deep, just very terrible places at times. But that's what we do. That's why we're here. You know, we're not
Absolutely.
here to go into this dark place because John Q cameraman's behind us saying, go into that dark place. It looks scary. It'll freak them out.
Right.
Right.
No,
Who
we go
cares?
in there to find what we seek, which is truth. That's
Hmm.
all.
Hmm.
That's all. Nothing more,
Mhm.
nothing less, you know?
True that. True that. Jai, I'm gonna throw it at you. What do you got for him?
I just wanted to ask you to just explain a little bit more um with your EVPs. First off, do you have any um have you sent us any EVPs?
Yeah. I
Oh,
did. I thought I sent a couple. If not, buddy, that's no problem.
I
Uh-uh.
can't.
I
Even if you did, I have a problem with Facebook on my
yeah.
computer here. I can't access
Oh,
social media.
okay.
I
Well,
the samples that I have, They're online on my website,
Let me
evpexplorations.com.
see if I can
You just
go
click
there.
on evidence, and then when you click on evidence, those are actual, and all of those except for 2 were captured on a cassette recorder. Most of those are analog recordings, but they're analog EVP captures. They're authentic. They haven't been tampered with. So they're
So do you adjust the volume at all, Todd? Do you use any filtering?
what I like to do. There is, one tip I'll give folks, because I'm such a big advocate on less is more when it comes to these. You want them in the most raw form possible. So do all editing in a .wav format, in its original raw format. Do all editing in that format. Only after your editing is complete, that's when you compress it to an MP3 file. So you do all editing in waveform, and there's tons of. I use Adobe Audition. Mostly, I'm on what's called the spectral analysis, where you're looking at the sound, telling the differences and so forth, which I'll get into in a second. But there's also another area on there where you can analyze the waveform and see what frequency it's at. Is it infrasound below human hearing? Is it ultrasound above it? Is it in between? Most are captured in the infrasound area, but there's so many topsy-turvy tricks that can happen if you go in there. And a lot of people, oh, that's loud in the background, I want to get rid of that hiss. Well, they'll go in and do a simple hiss reduction incorrectly. Remember, less is more. Incorrectly, and it takes too much hiss out, and it sounds like a tin can, like it's underwater. That hiss is the bed for that audio, whatever's on there, your audio, the spirit's audio, whatever, that is its grip. That is its platform. So if you remove it, you're going to get the tinny vocal. So don't use, if you're going to use the hiss reduction, use it lightly. And I don't mean hit light hiss reduction. I mean lighter than that, folks. Peel it away. Look at it as if it's an onion, and just take one little layer off. If you have to go in there and beat the hell out of one of these captures and reduce noise, do a noise reduction, hiss reduction, if you have to do that, it's not a Class A, and you can't turn it into a Class A by filtering it. The more you filter it, folks, the more you take away as far as credibility.
The more distorted it sounds, almost.
Yes.
It almost turns robotic in sound if you put too much filtering on it, or
it does
make it too loud. It is a terrible way. I always like, whatever I do to a piece, a sample or whatever, I'll take a sample, I'll play with it a little bit. I'm like, all right, this sounds great. But then I'll go back, I'll jot in my notes what I did. I'll go back and I'll play, like when we're all meeting, I'll play it out and see what people think. I'm like, all right, are you thinking of this now? Right, let me try that. And then we it's like voted on them. It's like we want to get the most accurate. And if nobody likes it, of course it gets tossed out, and it's like, oh shit, I thought that was really great, but the rest of you didn't hear the same thing. So
I mean,
whatever.
You get a ton of them like that, and I work mostly with analog recording, so I get far less EVP captures, but the ones I do capture on tape, they are very clear, very profound. Digital, you get those things all day long. But are they true EVP vocals? I mean, there's that's a whole new show right there, buddy. Guys, jeez. But you have either way, less is more. And that tip I was going to give you, there's one filter that I recommend using. And now this is just, I just use Adobe Audition. I don't know if Audacity has something similar, or WavePad. But what this is called, it's called a hard limiter. And what it does, and it's under amplification tools. So you amplify hard limiter. And what that does is, if let's say your question vocals are here, your EVP's here, so it's going to drown almost. It's going to have that rough sound. The hard limiter will bring them both up to the same level, to where it's not drowning your ears. It's more blended. You can hear it easier. And it doesn't take anything away. It simply amplifies it or enhances it. Does that mean it's still a Class A if I amplify it? Of course. I didn't overcorrect it. And what makes it a Class B, folks, is when you go in and remove parts of it, such as the background. You remove that, you're degrading the credibility of that file, and
Sure.
and it's going to be tossed. I'm telling you, folks. That's
Yeah.
the slightest that you hear that tin sound. Whoop, tune out.
Yep.
That's overcorrected. And
Terrible.
it's probably background natural sound anyway, something that wasn't noted, like we talked about earlier. You got to be real careful with them. You've got to discipline yourself. This is a craft. This is a
Yeah.
craft. Learning electronic voice phenomenon is discipline.
Mhm.
And it takes
Ex-
patience, a lot of patience.
Could you explain to us your most memorable EVP?
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
I put my favorites up on the website there.
I have the website loaded, so after you tell
Oh,
the story, I'll pop them up.
cool. My most memorable EVP capture was an intelligent capture in a small Quaker schoolhouse, and
Nice.
two people, two friends, wanted to come and see what it was like to go on an investigation, so they came with us.
Mhm.
And we were inside the schoolhouse doing a stationary session, setting up right at the beginning of the recording, setting up, getting ready to leave the area for a while, hit record, walk away. We left, go back, do our thing for a little while, come back, hook up the analog, and upload it to the computer in its raw format. So I have to listen to every second when you do it that way. So you listen to every single second. It's not like a USB upload where it's zip. This thing it's raw.
Yep.
Old school, folks.
Yeah.
So listening to it, and the mother was standing behind me. And this voice just, you hear the hiss again, folks. Take a break every 5 minutes. Trust me. But the hiss, and then you hear, "That's my daddy."
Wow.
And the mother behind me immediately starts crying. She burst into tears.
Jesus.
And I didn't know this prior. They had lost their 5-year-old daughter several years prior to that.
Wow.
And the mother and father were there. And it was almost as if that little child spirit was pointing up, saying, "That's my daddy." Oh, geez. I
That's
mean,
heart-wrenching, too.
she cried. I cried. She
Yeah.
immediately recognized the voice of that little girl. And it was incredible.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we have that. I have that
Amazing.
clip ready to go. So I'm gonna
Oh,
bring
sure.
that up. I'm gonna share it on the stage here, and we'll give that a quick play. Wow.
That's clear as day.
And I know it's frowned upon to label captures. It's very subjective whenever you put what the title is, but these have been scrutinized for years.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, folks, if you want to check this out, this is evpexplorations.com, and you want to evidence the authentic EVP capture. So more into this. This next one here is called Stop.
Oh yeah.
With the Sally House. I've heard of the Sally House. So I'm gonna.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were actually. Oh, go ahead, buddy.
Okay. Sounds like a kid.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
a kid? Yeah.
sounds like a kid.
Yeah, it's a child. We were actually in the dining room taking several photographs. Something had just happened to Tony. So we were documenting everything. There were flashes, there were this and that. And this is what we analyzed later around that time. A child spirit screaming, "Stop."
Yeah.
Saying stop.
Yeah, that's pretty intense. So Sally House, that's out there that's in Illinois, yes?
Yeah, the Sally House is in Atchison, Kansas. And
Kansas.
it's
Okay.
yeah, it's I've investigated that since 2004.
What's the history behind that?
Oh boy, my goodness. The folklore behind it was it's a small house there on 2nd Street. The doctor lived next door or in town or close by. Well,
Yep.
the little girl, Sally, who was named Sally by the late psychic Peter James, named her Sally. apparently or allegedly died of on the surgery table. She had appendicitis, and the doctor didn't give her enough ether, so she
God.
came to during surgery and died of shock.
Oh God.
And so that's the folklore. There's no
That's the
Wow.
medical
worst.
records of that. There's no. We went there several times, tried to find any documentation on her being buried there. Anyone by the name of Sally. The only thing we found was a little girl named Sally. It was in the segregated part of the cemetery. It was the
Mhm.
segregated part, and
Oh.
that's the only record of a Sally we found. So I mean, it's
Mhm.
strange. And the father,
African American segregation. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was an older cemetery, and it went way back. And the whole haunting started with Deborah and Tony Pickman. They lived in the home back in the 90s
Yep.
and were severely haunted. Tony was cut, he was burned. They had things catch fire in their home. We
Mhm.
saw that take place right there in front of our eyes with a remote control caught on
Jesus.
fire. Oh, it's just
Jesus.
crazy. So the Sally
Wow.
House is now it's a playground. It's a pay and play.
Oh
This was
wow. Yep.
back when it was privately owned, and I had to have a hide key. Now, no. No, you go in there and hang and stay the night now, and eat dinner with Sally if you want to. I mean,
Oh wow.
it's been beat up. All they're doing is feeding it. The
Yeah.
place is a malevolent haunting, and all they're doing is feeding it. So
Right.
Yeah. So you think that's probably you think these locations that are there's another place like that here in Connecticut. I was or in Connecticut, which is the next state over, which I was told it's just like a malevolent presence, and they're just kind of like feeding the energy and then charging money for it. And
yeah,
um, you think that's the thing in a lot of these places, or do you think that's
I
just
do.
yeah?
I think they hold that malevolence hostage
How would
because
one how would one be able to do that if they're
I
do
don't
ghosts just come and go? Yeah, I don't know.
they don't try to do anything to repair it.
Yep,
They
that's
just let it
true.
happen. And
That's true.
which I guess that in their defense they could, well, we're leaving it in its most natural state. Well,
Right.
whatever.
I
Um,
guess.
but it's the way it attracts people. People get the wrong idea
Mhm.
from television, from YouTube,
Of
um,
course.
from social media in general. Period. They get the wrong
Hmm.
idea of what this really is. It takes hours and hours, days, months, years to figure
Yep.
out some of these cases.
Oh yeah, for
It's not
sure.
something you just go in there on a Friday night, with your brand new t-shirts, you're rocking them out. You're going in there on a Friday. I'm going to be done by Sunday. We're going to
Right.
close this case. We're going to save the day.
We're gonna go to a
No,
hotel room with hours of audio, figure it all out, and then by the end of the weekend, the end of the episode, we've saved the day for these people. That is never ever been the case for me ever.
no, no. And I
Um,
tell you what, some of these people are bringing film crews into clients' home. Clients, if you're watching, you should be ashamed of yourself for allowing this to begin with. This
yeah.
is your home. You don't want that stuff out there like that. You know, you
There
don't.
were years ago around Rhode Island. There was a group that was going around here, and they were like going into people's houses, and they were filming YouTube, and they were like saying these people had demons in their house, and they made themselves like vomit.
It's terrible.
I get that. Yes, I get
Why?
it.
You
Well,
know,
because like a lot of other fields, this is a
to
field where
monetize
people can exploit others, and
Right.
easily,
people
quite
are
easily.
like screaming for answers because they don't know what's going on in their own lives and their own homes, and they're just looking for somebody to help them.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, there's as many good people as there are. There are that many assholes who are just trying to make a buck for
tons of them.
themselves,
They
Right.
which
want to
is
make a buck.
terrible.
They want
It's
to make a
terrible.
name for themselves.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah. It's not
if
about the
you
money.
you want to make a name for yourself in this field, do the work.
Right.
All you
Right.
have to do is do the work. Do the work, and your name will stay. If you don't do the work, it's going to be here, but it's going to dissipate like a mother. It is.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
mean, I have seen so many people rise and fall. You just got to stay on that level, folks. Just do your job, and you're
Hmm.
good. Do what you're
Yeah.
supposed to do, and you're good.
Right.
Stay in your
Right.
lane and you're good. It's
Yeah.
and share, damn it. Don't be afraid to share. That's the problem. People don't want to share anymore because they're afraid they're going to get bullied or really ridiculed. I don't
Their
blame them.
ego is gonna get torn apart, and yeah, they're gonna get ripped down. And
I mean, you know, some of these YouTubers, guys, look at them. They're brutal as hell. They'll sit there and cut a person to the bone and then put their keyboard up and walk back up. They're done.
Right.
Keyboard courage. So, you got to have some tough skin. You got to blow that stuff off and don't let that discourage you. Just keep going because this process, especially EVP, is no easy task. You're not going to capture them every 2 seconds like people think.
no
A
God,
good
no.
EVP capture is rare, very rare. A
Right.
Class A is very rare, extremely rare. I probably
Yeah,
have
for
4
sure.
of them. But it's not just capturing them and capturing. I use that term loosely. We don't know how they get on there, but that's only part of the journey. The rest, oh my goodness, how you doing, Friday? That's the rest is up to you, the investigator. It's not going to be done for you. You have to do the legwork, and that's what
Oh,
next week's
sure.
statement is going to be about. It's doing the damn legwork because most
Right.
people want to wait in the car, wait for somebody else to unload all the equipment or whatever they're
Ugh.
bringing, and then they get out real slow. Oh, my leg fell asleep, so they have to. They're slow walking, so they don't have to do anything,
Right.
and it's getting bad. It's getting really bad. Every person on that investigation team has to have their own part,
Mm-hmm.
their own role. You have somebody handles the recording.
110%. Or everybody after each investigation, everybody's got to take a piece of that video that they're
Yes.
gonna watch. Dude, I split up video when it was just me and another guy, and we had 4 cameras, 36 hours on each camera. Holy shit,
That's a lot.
and it was nothing. We didn't find not a damn thing. And you guys, you're gonna, if you have never investigated the paranormal, this is something you're gonna run into a lot. Like
Mhm.
mindless hours of listening and watching to nothing. But when
Yeah.
you have that really great EVP or that really like great moment where like a person steps into the footage, holy shit.
Oh yeah.
It's priceless.
Those things
Me
are
personally,
motivating.
Todd, me personally, I've always been a big EVP guy. That's not like been my bread and butter.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the recorder I use. I don't know if it's me personally. I don't know. It's just
You
good
align
timing.
with it is what it is, buddy.
Maybe.
I mean,
Right.
you that recorder chose you just as much as you chose it, whatever you
Mhm.
use, and it's your personality. I mean, if hell, if you came into a room and I'm sitting there as a ghost, I'd sit there and talk to you for a while, both of you. You guys
I
are great
appreciate
people,
that.
and that's
Thank
the
you, bud.
problem is people don't take the time to think about that kind of stuff. They just walk in, cameras blazing. Let's go, let's
These
do
kids.
this. The
Let's
less
flash every
time
30
we're here, the
seconds.
less footage we have to go through. So let's hurry.
No, don't do that. Yeah, take your time. Sit there and just
Have
listen and be part of the environment. Go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Jai. Go ahead.
Have you ever heard a voice that was not on tape?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's called electronic noise phenomenon. That was coined years ago. ENP. Those are the voices that they make you check your sanity. They
Yeah, they
really
do.
do, because you're walking in. I've heard this is I was on the Queen Mary, and I was simply walking down the hallway to go down to the first class swimming pool, and I'm walking through there, and I hear, "How are you today?" I turn around, and there's
Oh,
no one
shit.
there.
Right.
So you get that. It's almost as if you walk into residual activity. It's almost as if it chooses you. You really don't choose it. It chooses you. The paranormal will find you. If you're a skeptic or not, it will find you
They
in its
sure
due
will.
time.
Yeah.
And when you do these investigations, when you go to these locations, when you have 36 hours of video to go through and you're done, just like you said, don't let it discourage you. Just know, keep at it. Just keep working at it. Discipline,
Mhm.
discipline, discipline. it will come. And I promise that will motivate you further and further and further into it the more you capture. So, and it's not as hard as what people think to
Right.
capture these. You know, if you go at daytime or nighttime, it doesn't matter. I get more activity during the day than I do at night. Uh, it's, you know, sure, the night gives you a good backdrop. It's silent, it's quieter,
Right.
but you still have, you know, your coyotes that you've got to be weary of, and just so many different things. When you're out there, you're always aware of sound. Try to be. You need to be.
Yeah.
But when you're doing these, close them correctly. Intent is key. I can't stress enough the power of intention. I've worked with some of the best spiritual people on the planet over the years, and they have really woken me up to this stuff and how it correlates with what we do. And it does very much so, almost as if we're a conduit of sorts or some kind of pipeline or something. It's all consciousness, every bit of it, because I can't explain what this stuff is. I don't know how a voice gets captured on there. Is it static electricity? Is it magnetism? We don't know. It could
No
be
idea.
something as simple as them coming up to the microphone. Hey, how you doing? It could be something that simple. I hope it's that simple. Or it could just be them hovering over. They stick to that thing just like glue and imprint themselves on there. They find a way to manipulate it. Maybe that's why their voices are so different. You know, like I mentioned. Go ahead.
I mean,
buddy.
or there's those times where like a disembodied voice. Is that what you would call it, Todd? Where everybody hears it and it comes out on the recorder,
Right.
but you could not place that voice for the life of you. That has happened many times.
Yeah.
I wish I could explain it. It's also, how do they form the voice with no vocal cords? You know,
And
Right.
you know, you mentioned that, and on the spectral view, if you guys look at a good Class A EVP or a good EVP, even a Class B will show you sometimes. If you have a question before the response, this is the best one to look at. Load it up in your they all have them, Audacity, all of them. Look at the spectral view at your voice, and you're going to see your vocal imprints on there.
Yeah.
They look like fossils. Okay. You'll see those. Now look at your EVP. It may not have those. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be there. It's going to be a blotch. It's going to be and I coined that years ago, a spirit vocal print. It looks totally different. It looks like a blotch or a line,
like
but yet it's amplified just as high as your voice. How's that? Are they you know, the ones you capture too, the ones that really throw you off, are the EVP you capture that sound just like you do.
Right.
You know, are they riding the vibration, the frequency of your voice in there and manipulating it? And oh, it's crazy. It'll drive you nuts. You know, don't even get me started on reverse EVP. That's wow. It's a whole new world. There's just so much with it, guys. There's just so, and most people don't understand that. They're just coming in. They see YouTube, they see television. They're missing 98% of what EVP is about. Go back, look at your pioneers. Look at Frederick Jurgensen. Look at Konstantin Raudiva. Look at those guys.
Yep.
And the progress they made. And Bocce, all these people that are out there, research them and learn from their mistakes so you don't make them again. That's the whole point. So history doesn't repeat itself.
But
for crying
those are like scientific guys who are very active in the paranormal field, very active in paranormal research and investigation. Raudev, was say the guy, the guy he taught at
Jurgensen.
Duke. Yeah, Jurgensen, or the guy who was in the mountains, like recording bird voices.
Yeah.
Bird songs, and he heard his mother talking to him, using his mother's nickname for him as a
Frederill.
child. Yeah.
Frederill, my little Frederill, can you hear me? Is what she said on his. He captured that record. He was a film producer, so he was out there capturing some sound effects, bird calls. Frederill, my little Frederill, can you hear me? Can you imagine capturing that from your own mother?
Right.
And why that isn't plastered in people's minds on just how true this really is. And if it isn't broke, don't fix it. That's why I
Right.
still use analog. I haven't figured that out yet. Till I figure that out, I mean, I still use digital. I've got it. It's more cost effective. I'll tell you that. But
Sure.
Mhm.
you know,
I bet.
it's you have to just pick and choose. Let it when you're out there shopping, you know, try to shop in person for a recorder. Pick that thing up in the box. Take it out of the box if you can, and feel it. See if that just kind of, how does your gut feel? What's your gut tell you? Is this thing going to work for you? I'm telling you, if you shop like that and get one like that, your next investigation is going to be holy shit. You're just it's going to blow your mind because
That's my last recorder. It was like a $40 Sony from Walmart, and I picked it up, and I'm like, oh, this fits good in my hand. I've captured so many EVPs on it. It died, so I had to buy a new one. I bought a Tascam. I spent a little bit more money, but I bought it online because you can't really find those in
yeah, they're not common.
Yeah, right. So I
stores.
don't know. I saw a lot of good reviews on it. What do you
That's
use
okay.
these digital recorders, Todd? What do you what's your go-to for a digital
My
recorder?
brand, me personally, you can throw a model number at me. The only one that I will never forget and will never use again is the RRDR60.
Who makes that?
Don't do
Not-
it. Panasonic.
okay.
It's an old
Oh.
one, and it's worth
Mhm.
thousands of dollars. I sold
God.
both of mine.
Yeah.
I got rid of them. They're crap. But you can get, I don't, you can throw model numbers at me and so forth. I don't know them. All I know, the brands that I've used and had results with were Olympus was number one, Sony was number two, and RCA was last.
Yeah.
As far as digital recorders, as far as analog recorders, just find a GE shoebox recorder. Go to any secondhand store. You may get lucky like I did. I got 7 high bias cassette tapes with it. You can't beat
there
that.
you go. Yeah,
No,
no,
you
no,
couldn't
no.
beat that.
You can't beat it. So,
Jay, I'm going to throw it at you really quick. I got to run out. I'll be right.
Okay.
oh,
So
like
you said
he's-
you got 7 free.
yeah. There's.
Are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me? Okay.
Can't hear.
Can't hear me.
I can't hear.
Oh, hang on. I'll come back in.
I think Buddy disconnected us.
Oh, he did.
Or,
Did he? No, we're still live. Let me. Yeah, maybe. He said
Are
he
you
was
there?
buffering. Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you. Something's weird. I don't know. The
Say
internet's been
something.
having.
I
The
can't
internet's
hear
been having.
anything you're saying. Go ahead. Go ahead and talk.
I don't know if it's coming through or not. I don't know, but there's been some weird internet issues going around with a bunch of servers and so forth. Maybe this is something to do with it. And because Friday says he's buffering too, and yeah, I mean that's a little crazy. I don't see. Let me try and pop. I'm going to try and pop back in here.
Okay. As far as I know, the volume's not working. We're still live, but I think they're going to come back in. So we're going to wait and see.
Okay, can you
Here
hear?
they come. Still can't hear you.
Can't hear me. Well, that is so strange.
I'm going to have to wait here. Looks like we're having technical difficulties.
Please stand by. Yeah, we'll get it worked out. I mean, it's still rolling.
Oh,
Buddy will
no,
be
Buddy
back.
must have had to run to the restroom.
He probably had to reboot. We'll get back though.
Yeah, I had to run to the restroom. I apologize, guys. That
That's
was
okay, buddy.
and my microphone fell over. Did you fall off, Todd? Did something happen?
I don't know. Are you able to hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, because
You can't hear me? Jai, you can't hear me? No? Jai, I can't hear you. Oh, Jai's out. Maybe
Try
she'll
that
come back
again.
in. All right.
That's the beauty of live, isn't it, buddy?
Yeah, right. Things just come
Never
and
know
go.
what's going to happen.
Yeah, no, shit happens.
Yeah, it does.
So from our chat room, no, I think there was a question here from Friday. There was. I'm sorry. Hold on. Oh yeah. How many people ever use what does it say? SDRs alongside EVP sessions. What's an SDR, Todd? Do you know what he's talking about?
Are you talking about those little cameras, Friday? SDRs?
That was a question of his earlier on. I don't know.
Or do you mean standard digital recorder? If you mean standard digital recorder, I use them alongside my analog all the time.
Oh yeah. Now do you find that you'll get an EVP on one recorder and not another, even if they're
Several
like right
times.
next to each other? Yeah. What do you think it is, Todd? Do you think that's
I think it's maybe, in my opinion, they don't have very much energy. When coming into this realm, I think takes a lot of work for them.
Sure.
But for example, you were talking about cold and hot spots earlier.
Yeah.
They come in. I feel they need all the fast moving molecules to manifest. So they're going to suck all of the heat out of the air, leaving a cold spot. Now, I also feel that before they do go back, they have to drop everything that they kept here. They can't take anything with them. Therefore, you get the hot spots.
Yeah.
So, you have that. You have that.
Yeah.
But as far as the nitty gritty of it, the EVP session itself, is that what you're getting into, buddy? Is just the session itself?
Yeah. The session, like there's been times where I've had two recorders side by each, and one clear as day, well, an EVP, and the other one, which is right next to it, doesn't pick up on it at all.
And I think, a spirit, it takes a lot of energy. Perhaps they only have enough to maybe magnetize or use the static energy or use the microphone. And maybe they approached the analog recorder because it was more familiar to them.
Yeah.
Maybe they approached the digital because it was more familiar to them. It could go both ways. But
maybe they were on different frequencies.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo. And that's the problem. I think we overthink this stuff. We complicate the hell out of it. And it's so simple. It's right under our noses. We just don't know what it is. But
then how do we tap ourselves into all of these frequencies and how many frequencies are there? Any answers do you have?
Well, to give you an example of frequencies and how many, the simple white noise that we've all heard, that constant hiss, TV static, whatever, that contains millions of different frequencies of sound.
Okay.
The brain can only process one at a time. That's it. That's why you hear that shh.
Yeah, right.
That's why you don't take it out with the EVP. But the background noise, I have done so much experimentation with different noises: white noise, brown noise, pink noise, green noise, so many different noises out there. And I found the best results were with white and green.
Nice.
And I have in the past gone into, let's say, that old schoolhouse, for example. I did it several times. I would charge that area with white noise. I would play it for an hour or so. Just let it play in there.
Yep.
And then come back and you can feel the thickness. This place is filled with all kinds of different energies that they can use maybe. And I've yielded some pretty good results doing that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of patience, but you want to introduce something like that. And I'm not saying that that's their spotlight. That's what gets them to perform. No, I think it aids them in performing.
Mhm.
It aids
Yeah,
them in
that's fair.
talking back with
I'll
you.
take it.
Mhm.
Whatever it takes. I honestly, I've subtly made the switch from like that booming like ghost boxes with the the radio, the transmission and stuff,
Yep.
to a more of a white noise, just playing the white noise. I've
Mhm.
heard when I first started investigating, I did that. We had like what would have been considered. It was one of the spirit boxes, but I think it was like an SB7. It didn't have great reception.
Yeah.
It did
The old ghost
scan.
box.
Right, and then I guess they got better. I've had some like interesting moments with the ghost box, but I've gone back to just the pure white noise. It's not transmitting anything. It
Mhm.
is plain white noise since I've started following the work of Ron Yacovetti. I do know. Are you familiar with Ron and
Oh yeah.
Lords and what they do and Tony Rathman, what they do with the ITC? I actually saw it firsthand. I was at the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash last 2 years ago, and they had it in one of the conference rooms, and they would do it, and it was like voices were coming through like
Real time.
left and right, and it was like completely intelligent, like
Yeah.
saying Tony's
Now,
name and like describing what color shirt he wore. It's like,
yeah.
am I listening to this shit?
And it's incredible. And
Yeah.
and what they're doing basically in layman's terms is manipulating sound
Mhm.
to get these voices to come out. It's almost as if they're taking the white noise, squeezing the
Mhm.
frequencies that aren't being used, and just letting that trickle. And there it is. There's your voice. And
That's
it's
what it
pretty
does.
incredible work, especially what Ron and Lourdes are doing. It's
Mhm.
it's amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear white noise, I hear it sounds like I hear mumbling,
Yeah. And you're
like a
yeah,
mumbling conversation going on.
Mhm.
you will. The longer you listen to that, you'll be able to hear all kinds of things. It's called
Right.
pareidolia, and
Okay, so that's the
your brain
pareidolia.
can't process all those frequencies at once. It wants to. It wants to right now, but
And
it
it's
can't.
trying
So
to.
now it'll start to hear things. You'll start to hear, did you hear me? That's what I'm saying. You'll start hearing these little things that make no sense whatsoever,
Hmm.
and it's not EVP.
Yeah.
Um, if anything, that's a form of ITC.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
if you're actually audibly hearing those things,
Mhm.
but
Hmm.
with it's pareidolia. Your brain will do some crazy things with both sound and visionary.
Mhm.
Anything
Hmm.
visionary, photographs and so forth. If you look at it too long, it's the mindset when you look at it or listen to it. You need to be in that 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 non-bias mindset.
Right.
Right.
You
I
have
believe
to.
like confirmation bias goes like a
Yes.
long way with a lot of this stuff. Unfortunately, we believe we hear what we want to hear, we see what we want to
Right.
see.
If
Right.
Sometimes,
not, like you said, you spend that 36 hours, damn it, I want something, you
right? Yeah,
know,
exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
and sometimes you don't get it. And it's discouraging, but you just keep going at it. But the capture, once you get it, I promise you that'll motivate you the rest of the way. Once you capture your first one and it's intelligent,
yeah,
my goodness, that's going to take you on so many different levels. You're just going to research more, and that's years ago when I started Haunted Voices, that's exactly what it was. It was to teach other people, because it was so hard for me to find any information on this years ago. So
hmm.
hard.
Hmm.
We didn't have social media or anything like that.
What did you before social media and when you first started doing this? Like the internet wasn't even like really that
We
huge.
had, it just came out. We had the AAEVP website,
Yep.
and we had email.
Hmm. Oh wow.
Those are about the two. There were some forums back then, paranormal forums,
Yep.
but I that's why I created Haunted Voices, was to teach other people what I
Yep.
had learned, because it was so hard to find.
Yeah.
And Haunted Voices kind of got away from me. It literally went to outer space. So I had to regroup and reboot. And I
Yep.
wanted that same thing, that same one stop where people can go and learn a proper way to go out and investigate, a proper way to use your equipment, a proper way to form a team, I created all those courses over on the website. They're all
Nice.
free of charge, every single one of them. I don't charge a dime. I don't make a dime off
That's
of
good.
this.
That's awesome.
You know, I don't make a dime
Nice.
off of it, and I enjoy writing them. They're my screw ups, folks. Learn from them. That's why they're there. The articles the same way, same thing. Some of those things are controversial.
Mhm.
They're meant to get you to engage critical thinking. It's important out there because you have to learn to decipher because there's so much bullshit, and you have to learn enough to cut through it. If not, you're never going to get above.
Mhm.
You're never going to get out of your own way. You're always going to be in your own way until you educate yourself. Then everything starts to just domino effect. And it's really cool that happens. I mean, we've got like 192 registered students over there taking these free courses,
Wow.
and it is mind blowing. There was one. I'll give her first name. Her name's Heather. She went at it all night long because I get emails every time a course is completed and so forth.
Mhm.
She was going to town all night long, taking notes, interacting with the comments. That's what it's about. That's what this communities should be about.
Right.
Community like that, a safe place to go. There's no bullying there. I don't put up with any of that drama crap. I don't. I
That's
don't
all.
do
That's
that.
all. Todd, that's all it is. It
Yeah,
seems like it's like mine is better than yours, or I did this, you didn't do that, or this. Like, who gives a shit? Right?
yeah,
Right? I mean,
exactly,
who gives a shit? It's
exactly.
or I caught this and you didn't catch that. Who cares?
Yeah,
This is, or the best one is when people try and come off and say, "Hey, I've been doing this for like 10, 15 years. I'm an expert." How are you? You're an expert
run,
at what? What are you an expert
run,
at?
run, man,
What are you
run.
doing? That's no expertise. Honestly,
No
you
such
don't need
animal.
any really special skills to do other than patience. And whatnot. You don't really need any special skills to do this stuff.
Just what we're born with: common
Yeah,
sense, patience, and respect.
for
You know, I
sure.
mean,
That's
that's
awesome.
taught to us, but it should be a given.
Hmm.
You know, that's all you need to get this going. That's all you need to get this started is common sense, respect, and hold your integrity. If you start something, finish it. If you start a session, finish it. If you start an investigation, finish it.
Right.
Analyze all your data.
Yeah.
Don't go, I'll do this next month. No, your client is waiting. You could have the most important piece, something that a name that client's been looking for years, right there in a box, and you're just letting it sit there. Get it
Hmm.
out,
Yeah.
Mhm.
reopen it. You
Right.
know, that's what it's about. Finding those things, uncovering those mysteries, because there's so many of them. Let's not make any more questions. My goodness, we have enough of those. Let's get some solutions.
Some
We have enough
answers. Yeah.
problems. God knows we have enough problems.
Right.
It's time for some
Absolutely.
solutions. It really is, because we're not going to get any farther. And I'm not saying kumbaya unity. That's just not going to happen. I just don't.
Right.
We're human beings for one.
Right.
So that's we're not going to go around in a circle. It's just not going to happen. But
Ego, unfortunately, is going to always get in the way
yes,
of that. But people's pride and stuff. But yeah, yeah,
but the
whatever.
rest we can manage. The
Yeah.
rest, if we work together, it just takes one of us. One
Hmm.
of us to make a change and then help someone else make their change and so forth down the line. Next thing you know, the community, which I'm seeing a little bit of a balance, you know,
Hmm.
people are starting to share some things now. And, you know, some of the things that we've talked about and so forth, you see them out there, which is good. It's a good thing.
Yeah,
You know, that's what you want.
for sure.
They just have to steer away from all this crap that they're going toward, because that's not what it's about. That's not
Yeah.
Right.
why we're here.
Amen.
And once they get over that and see that if you're in this field for fame or fortune, good luck.
That's not. Yeah, that's not a good. Even if you have your own TV show, chances are you're gonna fall on your face eventually.
Yeah.
Chai, anything you want to say? Anything you want to ask before we wrap it up?
I just want to thank you for coming on the show and explaining to others, the best tools and equipment to use and the best process to use because that's very important. Thank you.
Oh, you're most welcome. Thank you very much.
For sure. Todd, where can people find your stuff if they want to see more of you, more of your EVP work?
Sure. Everything that I have, that I possess in the paranormal world is at evpexplorations with an S.com. evpexplorations.com. You can watch past shows there, take the free courses there. There's 26 of them over there. You've got the articles there, of course. You can contact me through there. You can purchase my books through there as well. Everything's right there on one area, because I got tired of searching, so I made it only one area. Damn it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, put everything together. That makes sense.
So that's where it's all at. That's the best way to reach me these days. After 3 p.m., that's where I'm at usually. Ask Sherry, my better half. That's where I live.
Perfect. All right, guys, it's time to wrap it up. Tune in. This week we're not doing Three Dudes Brews. We're going to be on next week, right before Halloween, with some some good stuff. Tune in next week to The Ghost and the Goat as we welcome get a paranormal. I'm sorry, I don't have the person's name in front of me. It's gonna be a ghost guy. It's gonna be great. We're gonna have a good time. Tune in as always. It's always a good show. Todd, it's been great. I always like talking to another investigator, especially an EVP guy, dude. EVPs are wonderful. So thanks for coming on and talking all about that good stuff.
My pleasure, buddy.
Always a pleasure. For Todd Bates, for Jai, everybody there, the Ghost and the Goat. Have a good week, folks. I'd say go Dolphins, but that's just that's a dream. So enjoy your dreams, as I will mine.